What's up, YouTube? It's your friendly neighborhood GM, your host, Coach Key, and welcome back to Legends and Dice Cafe, where we learn about tabletop RPGs from old school to modern and do lots and lots of solo gameplay. Back with my weekly video like I do on Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and today's video is going to be a quick review. Whew. It's kind of a thick book on Alien RPG Evolved, and this is the upgraded version or updated version, or it's the latest version, okay? And as always, don't forget to make sure you hit that thumbs up button so YouTube will think that I'm pretty freaking cool. If you're interested in further supporting the channel, hop on over to Patreon and subscribe to Legends and Dice Cafe. If you're interested in joining a game with me, all of my games are on startplayinggames.com, and I host a free month shot every couple months. And without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into a quick review of Alien RPG Evolved. Let's get it. My chair it makes this little sound, and it might sound like I'm tooting, but I'm not tooting. You'll know. You'll know when I toot, guaranteed. All right, so this is the character sheet right here. Look, it seems pretty simple. And look, you've got your abilities. You've got strength, agility, wits, and empathy. And of course, you've got skills associated with each of these abilities. One of these days, we'll build a character and we'll do some solo play. So now this book it's got a lot of great information. It kind of like fleshes out the world and the whole alien experience, which I think is super cool, but we're definitely not going to get into that today. I just wanted to give you a brief look inside of the book. It's got an entire chapter about space and the frontier life, and then it has your careers on the frontier. And then in here, the game master or the GM is called the game mother, which is pretty interesting. And it also has different game modes. Your cinematic adventure emulates the dramatic arc of an alien film, designed to be played in one session. And then you've got your campaign play, which is pretty self-explanatory. It's designed to play longer continuous play with the same cast of players over several game sessions. And then it has 3 key themes, and it says no matter if you play cinematic or campaign play, any game of Alien is based on 3 key themes. And you've got space horror, you've got sci-fi action, and you've got sense of wonder. And then the next chapter 2, is going to be your character creation. And like we went over, your attributes are going to be strength, agility, wits, and empathy. And here is the experience, which I'm super familiar with. It's very similar to Dragonbane and to Walking Dead. So the things you learn during the game are measured in experience points. You receive XP after the end of each session. So what you do is you talk through and let the whole group discuss what has happened. For each of the below questions that you can reply yes to, you get 1 XP, which I think is pretty cool. And it's pretty cool at the end of the session getting together. We do the same for Dragonbane, like I said. And of course, your section for spending your XP, we'll delve a little bit deeper into this game at a later date. And it looks like you've got a lot of options for different careers. You've got Colonial Marine, you've got a Colonial Marshal, Agent, Officer, you've got a Pilot, a Roughneck, and you've got a Scientist. And the next section is going to be your skills and your talents. Now, this does have some custom dice that I do not have my hands on, but if you do not have the custom dice, you would just use a regular and full of D6s, and a 6 is going to be a success. And it looks very similar to Vaesen. I like Vaesen as well. I think Free League makes some pretty awesome games. And the books are fantastic as well. I love a good book. I love a good physical book. But it looks like what you're going to do is you're probably going to add your skills along with your ability. And that's how many dice. That's going to be your base amount of dice that you're going to roll in order for you to try to get that 6. And look, I would have had 1 success. So that would have been good for me. Another thing that you can do in here, which I enjoy, which I like, you can do this in Dragonbane as well. You can actually push a roll. So if you fail a roll, you can choose to push the roll. This immediately increases your stress level, which we'll go over very briefly in a few minutes, meaning you add 1 stress die to your dice pool, then re-roll all dice, not showing that. And I think that's going to stand for a 6. And that's what the symbol that would be on the actual custom dice, which I probably will not purchase the custom dice. I don't know. Depends on what they look like. If they're red, I might have to. I like the idea of being able to push a roll. And then you've got chapter 4, which is going to be your stealth in your combat. So initiative is super simple. You would do just like you do in Dragonbane. A deck of cards. I use either a deck of cards or the initiative cards in my Dragonbane in the starter set. If you're interested in Dragonbane, I absolutely suggest grabbing the starter set. I use a lot of the stuff inside of the starter set for my solo games and for games that I run. I think it's one of my favorite starter sets that I've purchased since I've been playing TTRPG since 2023, I think. Now, I've learned some really great things. It's been an amazing journey. But anyway, so you would do a deck of cards 1 through 10, and the number of the card determines the order in which you act in the round. Card 1 acts first, card 2 acts second, and so forth. Very simple. I love that. For your actions, so each round you can perform 1 full action and 1 quick action or 2 quick actions. So we've got your full action. You've got a stack right here. This is where you would do an attack and close combat, range combat, jump or climb. And then we got a section right here, of course, for your quick actions as well. And then here we go to what I thought was pretty cool, pretty interesting is so being in the darkness, you've got panic rolls, and this is where we get to the stress levels. So it says being in the cold darkness of space will test your nerves even under normal circumstances. Your stress level, the mounting tension in your character is measured by your stress level. It usually starts at 0 and increases. During the course of the game, your stress can increase in many different ways, and here's a few. For instance, again, pushing a roll, or you or a nearby PC suffers a certain stress or panic response. Nearby NPC panics, so I'm gonna let you go through that. And then you've got your panic roll. As long as you keep your stress in check, you can use it to your advantage. But if the tension grows too strong, it can explode, sending you into a wild panic. You need to make a panic roll when any of the following things happen. You witness another PC become broken. So a few things that will cause you to panic, which is super cool. And of course, your section for relieving stress. And you've also got vehicle combat in here, which is pretty cool. The next chapter, 5, is going to be your gear and your tech. We won't go through this section, but you got some really cool items to work with. And then you've got chapter 6, A Hard Life Amongst the Stars. So you've got space travel here, charted space, living in space, plenty of information about being in space. And you've got some cool spacecraft basics, and it has a cool ship combat example in the back. And then you've got your chapter 7, being the game mother. Some really cool information about being a GM, aka the game mother. It has a whole section on governments and corporations, chapter 8. And you've got a chapter 9 full of systems and planets. So as I said, like I was saying, this book contains a great deal of information in dealing with alien, dealing with space, everything that comes with it, which I think is really, really cool. It's nice and fleshed out from what it seems. And then chapter 10, you've got your alien species, aka your bestiary. Bestiary or monstiary or alienary, I'm not sure. But you got all your stats, all your stat blocks back here, and all the information that you need for your aliens as well. Boom, look at that. That's pretty cool. And then chapter 11 is going to be campaign play. There are lots of tables back here to get you started. It has a table for your campaign hooks. You've got a job generator, missions, destinations, complications, and last but not least, it has an entire section for solo play, which is super cool. It even helps you to creating starter missions. And look, you can play as a solo android as well, which is super cool. That'd probably be a wise idea to play as an android. This section as well has some pretty cool tables. And honestly, that's the gist of the book without going into detail. I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned because I'll be absolutely running this game solo. And I've got a special video for you guys next week. And as always, don't forget to make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you comment and subscribe. Turn on your notifications so you don't miss out on any of the cool content that I post on Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Next week's video will probably be dropping on Saturday. So stay tuned, and it's a special video. And I hope you have a super fantastically awesome rest of your Friday and an awesome rest of your weekend. And I'll see you back here, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And peace.